traditional
job.
Working in a company or a service.
I had to at some point.
Yeah, we'll get to that part of your story. Somewhere coffee enters the picture, coffee farms in Nicaragua. How did that happen?
Well, that happened because about 2010, I went into the real estate business. Buying and selling land plots.
In Managua?
Entrepreneurial. We never worked as an employee.
Traditional job.
Starting
new businesses.
Always, and having your own business. All our family, my father's side and my mother's side, they were artisans. They would do gold, like from scratch. My grandma would like draw something on paper, and then she would handmade a beautiful necklace, earrings. She was a very famous lady.
Was your family involved in mining and sourcing the gold?
Not mining, never. But they had an industry. Like my mother's side, my dad's side, their parents, which were the owners, each one of them, they have 12, 15, 20 people on desks with tools doing jewelry, you know. So nowadays it's all mechanized. You have machines doing chains, gold chains and everything. Before you had to do it every little thing by hand, every loop, and then put them together. On my mother's side. On my dad's side, my grandma, my mother's side, they would cater more to the upscale market.
Okay.
Rich people. The president of Nicaragua, Somoza, his wife would go shut down the whole town for her to come and sit down with my grandma and talk about what she wanted.
So it was custom designed jewelry.
Oh yeah,
for the president's wife.
Yeah,
traditional job. Working in a company or a service.
I had to at some point.
Yeah, we'll get to that part of your story. Somewhere coffee enters the picture, coffee farms in Nicaragua. How did that happen?
Well, that happened because about 2010, I went into the real estate business. Buying and selling land plots.
In Managua?
Managua, outskirts of Managua, other towns, beach area, farm area. It just happens that when you're in the land business, you start trading.
Right. Your commodities and what you have is land.
It's land. So I landed a couple of coffee farms, not knowing that I would make something out of them. I just said like, okay, let's buy it. It's there. And then that's how it started.
They were small, or they were good size?
Well, they were small, and it's been growing.
So you bought some small or some coffee farms as a part of a real estate business and held on to them? Yeah,
exactly. As an asset. Over there, just trying to do something, thinking in the future, I don't know, it might happen. Maybe it changed from coffee plantation to real estate development. It's up in the hills. Hilly places, very nice places.
So crop until the right time in the market cycle.
Exactly.
You told me when we talked the other day about the fact that Nicaraguans typically have large families, and this comes in handy when you're talking about coffee farms.
Yeah.
So I assume you bought these assets and then hired back the people or some local families with big families because...
Okay, so for many, many years, the coffee farms were just left alone. I would say you want organic coffee, this is the best organic coffee you can have because we just let them there by themselves. Minor, we did minimum to keep the coffee
no pesticides,
going, nothing,
no chemicals.
Because you don't want it. I wasn't in the coffee business. I just had that there sitting, but not thinking that I want to get coffee from the plantations.
Okay, it's going wild.
Yeah, it's going wild. Let it be there. Let it sit. Whoa, this year harvest. Okay, let's hand pick it, but nothing like really.
You weren't thinking coffee at that time. You were thinking development in the future when it's the right time.
Exactly.
Either selling or developing.
So you have caretakers, not caretakers. You have overseers that see the plantation, one or two. Nothing big until hand picking season starts, which is about 3-4 months. Starts in November to January, February, March, even April, depending on how high the plantation is. But yeah, that's how I ended up with this thing.
So you've got some coffee farms, and at some point you're starting to think, well, maybe there's a business with the coffee beans.
Exactly.
Maybe it's not just about.
So yeah, in 2015. Okay, so I lived all my life in Nicaragua, right?
Right.
And being Canadian, I came back in 1991.
Good.
My dad, wealthy man, put me through the university years in Montreal. I went to Concordia 5 years. Best life. Having money as a college student is great, man. Never had to work. Had my own place, my own car, my own everything. Trips every
good life.
2-3 months, here, there, whatever. But that ended in 1996 when I finished school. I graduated with my degree in business, international business. Went down to Nicaragua, and then I started my life there, working for my dad in his company, 2-3 years. But then I wanted to go independent. So
what would you have been doing for him during those 2 to 3 years?
I was the kind of the marketing guy, the international marketing guy. He had a big, huge, successful apparel business. We make denim jeans.
Jeans.
Like he had like 1,500 people working in this big industrial park.
Wow.
And he worked different private brands, private label, white labels for Target, JCPenney, Walmart, I think. I was very young, so I did a couple of years of that.
Okay.
But then business went sideways, you know. Well, that's a different story.
Yep.
If he ever meet him, he can tell you his story, that side, right? So I went on my own after a couple of years working for him, and my first serious job was into the hotel industry. I did a hotel for 6 years.
In Nicaragua?
In Nicaragua.
You owned one?
No.
Managed one?
No, I was the marketing guy.
Marketing, okay.
I used to travel a lot, all over the places.
Before Central America or everywhere?
Europe.
All over the world. And when does coffee become a part of your story? More than just owning the farms?
2014, 2013, 2010.
As early as 2010?
Yeah.
So 14 years ago, roughly.
Yeah, exactly. So I been Canadian again, and not living in Canada, but for 5 years for school. And then I was 45, 8 years ago, I was 42. And always, when I was living in Nicaragua, I was thinking like, Canada, I need to go move to Canada. That's my country. I was born there. Back in my head, it's like, you know, I want to see what life, Canadian life, has store for me. You know,
Right.
like, why, you know, I don't want to die and just not go there and live the Canadian way, right? So in 2015 with my coffee, I came on an exploring trip for a month.
Oh.
I came in 2015 and I stayed in Vancouver at the West End.
Okay.
My nephew was attending UBC.
Okay.
And he had a nice house there, and he let me stay there for a month. So that was my first time in Canada as an adult. Well, not really, but yeah, like as in like, let's see what's going on here.
Before it was vacation or just coming in and out, and from your birth.
And the 5 years I did in college, which I brought 3 products, being entrepreneurial.
2015.
To 2015, I brought rum, I brought coffee, and I brought cigars.
So these are 3 products made in Nicaragua.
And we have good
A lot.
5-star products. Those would be, aside from gold and cattle, those others, and cane sugar. Those 3 products are products that we know how to make them.
Nicaragua cigars are like Cohibas. They're Monte Cristo. They're
exactly.
good Cuban quality.
All are, even I would say nowadays, they're like this.
On par.
Because we got all the seeds from Cuba. Remember, Cuba is a good friend of Nicaragua,
Right.
and vice versa.
Right.
A lot of exchange, trade. So many of the tobacco now comes from Cuba, or were at one point brought from Cuba. Now we have our own. So our if you research on cigars, it's huge and it's big.
One of the top in the world.
Nicaragua, yeah.
And,
we are among the best.
Rum, I think Jamaican.
Rum, well, because you haven't tried Flor de Caña.
Flor de Caña.
That is the best
Good,
one.
it's the good rum that goes
It's
with the
a good
Coke.
rum. Yeah, with rum and Coke, yeah.
So how did it go? You brought
All
these
those three.